If you brought an orchid home and then killed it a few days, weeks, or months later, let me tell you why it happened. You may bring your orchid home, and as you start to care for it, you notice that these leaves get wrinklier no matter how much you water. That's because the roots are not dry yet, they're actually rotting. Orchids like to completely dry out in between waterings, so if you ever see a green root on an orchid in there, you do not need to water it. It already has water. Orchid roots turn silver when they don't have water and they are dry, so that is how you can tell when they need water, when the whole pot is completely silver, all of the roots. Or it might not be getting enough sun. If you keep your orchid in your home away from a window, it's probably not getting the light it needs, so the leaves will start to get droopy and wilty and not look very good. And the flowers will fall much faster. And when they're not getting the light they need, they don't use as much water in the roots, so if you water it more often, it will also rot and die. That's why every time before you water an orchid, you lift it all the way up out of the pot and check on those roots. You would rather underwater, not overwater. Naturally, these plants live on the sides of trees like this, so their roots are exposed to a lot of air and they dry very quickly in the wild, in about a day, sometimes even a few hours with enough air movement. So every orchid would rather be underwatered than overwatered. That goes for general with plants all over. Less water will always be better and keep them happier long term than more water. Now, when you hear me say orchids just want a little water, you may be thinking, that's enough water if you're an orchid. No, water is not in how much water you give, it is how long you wait in between waterings. So when you water, I recommend putting it in a sink and just turning that water on, letting it fill up the entire pot. Now do try to avoid getting the leaves wet, especially the stem right here. Overall with orchids, you're going to want to give more light as much as you can without sunburning the leaves to get the best blooms. This is what a sunburned phalaenopsis looks like. It has a little bit of yellow on that leaf, on all of the leaves actually. It's just a light little sunburn because it sits directly in this window and gets so much direct sun every day. So what are the two biggest rules we learned in this video when growing orchids? I'm going to give you a second to answer in the comments. Please do. I would love to hear if you got these. Alright, so the first answer is as much light as you can give without sunburning the leaves. That is the way to get the best blooms possible. Number 2, letting it completely dry out in between waterings. Does not matter the orchid, let it dry all the way. Underwatering will do far better than overwatering. I hope these help. And if you want to hear more things about orchids, let me know what you want to hear and learn about.